Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this beautiful 2012 Infiniti G37X all-wheel drive that we have for sale. This vehicle we purchased from one of our service customers. She bought this one from us years ago and she's serviced it with our service department for quite a while. She and her husband had a lifestyle change and they're moving to Singapore, so obviously they don't need this car anymore, and logistically it didn't make sense for them to get this thing shipped to Singapore, so we purchased it from them. Obviously it's hard to find nice older Infiniti products, so this is kind of a rare find. Usually, you know, vehicles that aren't coming off lease, it's hard to find vehicles like this for our used inventory. Usually we have to take them in on trade. It's usually the most likely way of finding these things, but people like them and they don't trade these too often, so we don't have a ton of them. So if you're in the market for a nice all-wheel drive G37, this one's well worth a look. It only has 65,230 miles, pretty low mileage for a 2012. Most people average 10, 12, 15,000 miles a year. And it's also very nicely equipped with features. It has a beautiful leather interior. It has a moonroof, it has an interior accents package that gives you wood trim on the center console, dashboard, and goes over to the doors. Nice color combination too, and black on wheat. Power and heated front seats, Bose sound system. This has a navigation package. It also has a backup camera, universal garage door opener, automatic dimming mirror, power adjustable steering wheel that tilts and telescopes. And let me show you something cool. This is kind of a feature Infiniti offered for a while, but they discontinued it. I think it was just too costly to produce, to manufacture and put in cars, and they didn't see that it was a huge sales benefit. But see, the whole gauge cluster is tilting up and down with the steering wheel. And the reason why they do that is that if you tilt the steering wheel up and down, it won't obstruct the gauge cluster since it's going up and down to the steering wheel as well. Most other cars, just the steering wheel tilts, and sometimes the wheel might get, see, kind of like that. It's just blocking the gauge cluster depending on your height and adjustment. So that's kind of a cool feature that Infiniti offered for a little while in some of their vehicles. And it's a cool little selling point in the G37. Bluetooth audio connection. G37 is a very fun car to drive. It has a 328 horsepower V6. It's built on the Nissan 370Z platform, so it's a rear-wheel drive sports car platform. So lots of fun to drive. It's not just a luxury car, it's also a sports car. It's also made in Japan as well. Not all Japanese brands these days are made in Japan, but the G37 is the real deal. Dual low restriction exhaust system for performance look, and it really makes some lovely sounds as well. It features intelligent all-wheel drive, so when all-wheel drive is not needed, it'll just be 100% rear-wheel drive. And they do that for a number of reasons. First of all, it's a performance automobile, so having that rear-wheel drive bias gives it a little bit more of a sporty feel. And also, if the all-wheel drive system's constantly working all the time, even when it's not needed, like in conditions like this when it's dry, that's going to chew through your tires faster and it's going to reduce your gas mileage. So that's why they have that rear-wheel drive bias. But as soon as those rear wheels slip, in a matter of milliseconds, it can send almost 50% of the vehicle's power to the front wheels. So really an amazing all-wheel drive system. It does great in our wet, slippery climate. And if you are going to drive in the snow, you're going to do a lot better in the snow with all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. In the heart of the G37 is the award-winning VQ37 engine. These are rock-solid motors. They go 200, 300,000 miles all the time. I've been with Infiniti 15 years, so I've seen many variations of these engines coming in trade and for service, with 200 and 300,000 miles still running strong. I even have a video on our YouTube page of a variation of this engine in an FX35 that we took it on trade with a little over 300,000 miles still. Purring like a kitten, still running and sounding just like this. It's amazing. And don't just take my word for it. Do some research, a quick Google search for the Infiniti 3.5 or 3.7 liter V6 or VQ35, VQ37. You'll find lots of great accolades on it. And it's also very powerful, as I mentioned, 328 horsepower, so excellent performance and handling. Also thanks to the advanced front midship platform, which takes the engine and places it as far behind the front axle as possible, so it's almost like a mid-engine vehicle. If you read some old some older car magazine comparison and reviews of the G37, you'll see they rave about the handling. In some magazines, I even heard them equate to the handling as almost Porsche-like in the G37, and I can tell you, I've driven lots of cars. I own an older version of this. I have a G35, and I can tell you it's an amazing handling vehicle, lots of fun to drive, and also very reliable. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.